Happy Friday, TGIF. Isn't it Friday? Yeah, it's Friday. Anyways, you guys, we're going to be talking about Garrick Merrifield and Danielle and their custom home building business because I was on Instagram earlier scrolling through and I came across this, which it's a review for their custom home building business, right? And it made me curious about the reviews on their page. Started wondering, they've had this business since I think they've had it since, let me double check. The business was formed in 2014. It is Maryville Custom Builders LLC. It says it's based out of Wisconsin. I think they live in Colorado, whatever. Garrick is listed as the contractor builder. Danielle originally appeared on the registration, but has not always been active in the business filings. Now, so they've had it since 2014, right? 10, 11 years. They have been on the show since 2021. And from what I remember on the show, like business was really good, right? I remember even being like, they do well. They obviously have a lot of money. Here they are taking all these trips to Brazil, renting Airbnbs, renting condos, traveling all the time. When they were dating Leah, they traveled to California, rented a Airbnb. So it definitely seemed like the business was doing good. I really think, this is my opinion, I think them going on the show clearly has done them no favors. And half the world hates them or dislikes them or thinks that they're con people, human traffickers. That's opinions. Nobody's saying that they are, but that's the vibe people get from them, right? And to go on the show and expose yourself for polygamous, whatever, okay. But to be involved in all the things that you're involved in and speaking so openly about them on the show and having a business is wild. It may be so TLC potentially paid for the trips. That could be. But like their house is a huge house, you know. Their in-laws would live with them. So it definitely seems like they've always done well. But anyways, I'm gonna read this review and we're gonna go over some more. And then I got thoughts. I have some thoughts, okay? So this was the first one that I came across in the reality TV mess is who posted it. This was May 15th. Sorry guys, I'm getting sick. This company is owned by unethical scammers. This we know. Scammed my partner out of nearly $10,000 by promising to do work that they never did. Holy crap, $10,000 is insane. No wonder they lied to a judge, faked a divorce, and are under collections for not paying their debts. I wonder where they got that information from. That could just be, a disgruntled customer just throwing rumors out there. We don't know. We don't know. Or it could be, a disgruntled customer who's throwing facts out there because they look maybe, Garrick didn't do what he was supposed to do. They hired him and then they maybe looked into it like, well, let's look into the company and maybe they figured this out. I don't know. But it made me curious as to the business. So I started looking at more reviews. Oh, and one thing, 10K, did that go to Roberta? I know, right? One thing that I noticed on that review, um, there was not a response to that review. Like on the business page when people leave reviews, a lot of comments are like, "Well, we checked our records and we never worked for you. So maybe you're mistaking us with someone else, right?" Which I have questions about that. We will get into it shortly, but that was not commented on there, which makes me think this is a legitimate customer, this Derek Abbott, because they did not respond. Like, we checked our records, we've never worked for you. Anyways, DG 5 hours ago. Do not work with him. No integrity. Now, this could be somebody that's watched the show that's been like, just gonna. I don't like the show. I don't like the type of people that they are. I'm gonna go leave bad reviews on their business. That's possible. Or it could be a legitimate. I don't know. Personal account. It says negative 1 star. Now look at this. Merrifield Custom Builders. We have no record of you being a customer, but if you need our service, we would be glad to help you. What I found interesting, can somebody tell me this? Because I don't know, but how can they figure out who left that review? Is that possible? Because it just says personal account. It doesn't say like Bethany Smith, it doesn't give a name for them to be like, okay, did we ever work for Bethany Smith? Okay, there's no Bethany Smith in our files. This is a fake review. Is there like a way to verify, like this is a verified account that we worked for? I don't know, maybe it is, but I found that interesting that there are names on there that personal account. And they're like, we never worked for you. Sorry. So they have two listings up on Facebook or two websites, Merrifield Custom Builders Incorporated, 1.5 stars. 1.5 stars. Merrifield Customer Builders Incorporated, same, 3 stars. Oh, handsome. Just kidding. Um, this house was on one of their pages as like a house that they did work on. And I'm like, that is a beautiful home. But what's with like those rocks look fake? Am I tripping? This was a picture that they had on their business page as far as like work that they accomplished to like show their work off. And I'm like, that literally looks like fake rocks. Am I tripping? I don't know. Anyways, figured I'd ask you guys. This one I thought was hilarious, you guys. No, this one was a year ago. But it says Garrick cried the whole day while on the job and would randomly speak Portuguese and Spanish at different times. Danielle is nice, but blink twice if you need help. I absolutely could believe that Garrick cried, the whole day while on the job. I believe that one, that he cried. Now, when they go on to say that he was speaking Portuguese, I'm like, he can barely speak Portuguese though, right? I mean, they're over there like Lorena needs to learn English. They're over there with the phone trying to translate. So I don't even know if he knows Portuguese or Spanish enough to like really be. And maybe he was just saying little words here and there while he was crying. Hey, puta, yeah, I don't know. Ain't puta a bad word? I think so. Well, I put fake rocks and the song pad. It looks. I know. I'm like, if I was looking for a business, because they do landscaping and they do custom home building jobs. So I'm like, okay, if I wanted someone to come do my front yard landscape, if I was going to hire a landscaping company to, make my front yard look beautiful, and I came across that picture and it looked fake, I would be like, this is a scamming site. This is a scamming page. They're literally using Photoshop to do the job. So yeah, I thought that was interesting. I was like, wow, that's weird. Um, Here's another one. Garrick, and this was 6 months ago. Garrick and Danielle lied throughout the process, saying they were making progress, but took our money and never did anything. Now it says we reviewed our records and we have no record of ever working with you. I think you have the wrong company you're reviewing. Please contact our office if you need us to help you in any way. And the name was cut off, but it was John. No, it wasn't John Smith. What was the other name? Sorry, give me a second. Because I think it was a name that you should like. How do they know? It was George Park. It was George Park. So maybe that's a legitimate name. I don't know. John Smith. Garrick and Danielle lied throughout the process, saying they were making progress. But wait, no, George Park made the comment about the crying. Sorry. So it was John Smith that made that comment, and they said I didn't know it. That is such a John Smith. John Smith. That's such a fake name. Actually, I'm going to take that back. My cousin's name is John Smith. I have a cousin that is my age, and his name is John Smith. So maybe it is John Smith. Um, wait, am I going backwards? Do not work with him. No integrity. DG negative. We have no record. Michelle Chaplin, 1 star. Tina was 1 star as well down there. Now listen, I'm gonna have to be fair. There were 2 good reviews on here. It is by the same person, and it's the same review. KMT says the deck looks great with the stonework. Would definitely try this place out. Work looks so solid. Um, and it's the same review a year ago. KMT. So it did have, those good reviews. Oh, this is me imagining Garrick right now. Anyway, so it does seem like, just as from recollection, like they went into the show, right? Wanting to, I don't know what their desire was. You have to wonder. You have to wonder now, knowing Garrick and Danielle, what was their reasoning for agreeing to be on the show? Was it to show the world that love should be multiplied, not divided, because they really believe in it with the business, knowing it could negatively impact. I'm good, babe. I got one right here. Knowing that, and I got several behind me. Knowing that it could definitely impact your business, which is the way you take care of your family. I probably would have to pass it, especially if you are coming out with something that you're going to get judged harshly on. If you own a business, like I was actually going back into further episodes just to he is now. I was going back in further episodes and I came across an episode where one of the guys on the show, this was season 3, maybe 4, he was like on city council, a councilman or something, and they were coming out as polygamists. And I was like, ooh, I hope it doesn't affect your job. I hope it doesn't affect, your ability to bring in an income for your children, because to me, I would sit it out. If I lived a way that I knew could potentially cause me to lose my job or affect my job in the way that I'm living, if I put that out there to the public. No, but that is a good idea. I need to. If I were to put that out there to the public and know that like there's a huge possibility that it could cost me my business or affect my business in a negative way, I would sit it out. I would not even take the chance. So I have to wonder, what was their purpose in joining the show? Why join the show when you have a business? It's the way you take care of your family, knowing it could impact it. Somebody should have warned them. Honestly, their friends, I don't know if they have any. Danielle, unfortunately, she's just completely blinded by Garrick, because I'm like, okay, if I had a husband that I knew people were not going to like and may think negatively about him, I'd be like, no, babe, let's not do the show. But Danielle is just so like when it comes to Garrett. Like, she thinks he's a great person. I did a TikTok video and I was talking about, I really think Danielle believes in this because Garrick has her convinced. I don't think she's happy about it. I don't think she likes it. I think if she could have her way, she would have Garrick, a marriage like we all have, a normal marriage, just her and Garrick. She would have never got a divorce. I think Garrick has convinced her that this is what they're supposed to do because God talks to Garrick and he's convinced her of that. And I did a TikTok video where I said something along the lines of she really needs to establish her own relationship with God because Garrick is going to lead her straight into the pits of hell. I believe she's got like Stockholm syndrome or something. That's just my personal opinion. And yes, that's another thing that I'm glad you brought that up. I heard not too long ago that she was waiting tables. So that's what I'm saying. Their business is not doing good now. I think a lot of it comes from the show though, because they have been in business for 6 years. They had been in business for 6 years before they appeared on the show. They built that big old house. They were traveling all the time, which TLC could have potentially paid for. But it seemed like they did really well financially. It seemed like business was doing good. And now, since starting the show, here we are, like not even a year ago, maybe 6 months ago, I heard that Danielle was she had taken up a job waiting tables at a restaurant to help bring in an income because business obviously has been hit pretty bad. But I mean, who's really going to want somebody like Garrick Merrifield to build their house or plant their flowers? If you're a husband and you're like, "Hey, honey, you were supposed to hire a landscaping business. Did you hire one?" And the wife's like, "Oh yeah, I did." And you know what? They're from that show, Seeking Sister Wife. They're the couple that they like to bring in more wives. The husband's always looking for another wife. The husband's gonna be like, cancel that. I don't need Garrick over here, planting flowers and you know, trying to hit up on my wife, trying to sprinkle his seed. You know what I'm saying? Try to collect him a wife while he's over here doing some work. No, cancel. We'll find somebody else. Her husband's wingman. Danielle is so Garrick's wingman. I was every time I watch clips, I'm just like, she's like, sister, I love you. She tried to kiss Roberta. Did you guys see that episode where they showed up? I don't even know if they had just showed up, but there was a clip where she tried to kiss Roberta, and Roberta was like, no, no. I think if Danielle had it her way, I don't think she'd want to marry the next wife. I don't think she'd want to marry the next wife. But I think she would absolutely like if Garrick had another wife that was open to kissing her on the lips and that being like a norm for them, I think she would do it. I think she would be and listen, I like Danielle, like outside of that. Like I like her. I think she can be like a nice person. I really think she is just brainwashed. We don't like men coming around the house looking for a new wife. Exactly. Exactly. Was it Natalia she tried to kiss? Maybe it was Natalia. I think, yeah, you're right. It was Natalia she tried to kiss. Sorry. I'm getting a little sick, you guys, and my head is hurting. My eyes are hurting. So I'm not really thinking too straight. But yeah, it really does seem like I really think more than likely a lot of the reviews are coming from people that watch the show that get the ick from Garrick, so they're going and they're leaving bad reviews. I don't agree with that. I'm just going to put that out there. I don't agree with not liking somebody, so you try to affect their business, their ability to bring in an income for their kids. At the end of the day, they do have kids and they got to try to support their family. Yeah, he got her waiting tables now. Yeah. So I don't agree with that. I think here's one thing. If you really hired them and they screwed you over, absolutely make a review, do a TikTok, shout it from the rooftops. But if you're going to put a review on their page just because you don't like them on the show, I don't really feel like that's fair, because maybe he does great at his job. And maybe he works so hard at it because he wants to provide for his kids and give them a decent life. But if you got people who just sees him on the show and they don't like him on the show, so they're going and they're leaving negative reviews, bad reviews affecting his ability to take care of his family. I don't feel like that's right. I do not condone that. I don't believe in it. And I do think that's probably what a lot of these reviews are. It's probably just from people that watch the show. Yeah, reviews should be from customers only. Hmm. Well, I went to their Maryfield, their Facebook page, and there are videos of them working. You really gotta think of it like this. So if you go to their Maryfield Facebook page, you'll see pictures and videos of uh, Danielle's brother working, Garrick working. They have other men that work with them. But you got to think of it like this. They've been on the show for 4 years, right? They film for like 3 months. They film for like 3 months. And if you really look at like how much of their lives we get to see, in each episode, we may get like 5 to 6 minutes, maybe 8, 9 minutes of of their life. So while it seems like, oh, we're watching them on the show, like we know all their business, we really don't because we're seeing this much into their life. You know what I'm saying? So there's so much that he could be doing that we have no idea about because we're only seeing such a small portion of their life. So they've been filming for 4 years. They film 3 or 4 months out of the year, and it's broken down to like 6, 7 minutes per episode. So but I mean, from based off what we see, it really does look like he doesn't work much. You know what I'm saying? Based off like what we watch on the show, it's like they're always traveling. He's always at home. He's always on a dating app looking for a new wife or taking somebody else out on a date or it doesn't really look like they're working much, but we do see a small portion into their lives. But right, Leisha. But yeah, you guys, I thought that was interesting. I thought, wow, they're getting hit left and right. Oh, and oh my goodness, I forgot. Okay, Steph sent me, there is a TikTok. A woman, Danielle reached out to her, like asking her if she would be interested in joining their family. And Steph sent me the TikTok the other day, and it just so happened when she sent it, the woman was on a live answering questions, but I couldn't stay. I couldn't stay in the live because me and my son was watching a movie. And when I'm in the house with my kids, I try to like put the phone down. I work a lot. So when I'm in there, if I'm watching a movie with my kids, I try to stay off my phone. So I had seen the message. I clicked on it really quickly. The woman was live and she was answering questions about her experience with, I guess, talking with Danielle about joining the family. And I messaged her and I was like, hey, can I reach out to you because I would love to talk to you about this? And I completely forgot until just now. So I'm going to have to reach out to her to see if maybe I can talk to her about what was going on. But she played an audio. Danielle sent her an audio and was like, hey, I was just curious on, what you think about if you would be interested in, thinking about maybe joining our family. And the girl was like, oh, wow. I would have to think about that. I don't know. Yeah, she showed the messages between her and Danielle. Yep. So I'm gonna have to try to go back to find that and do a video on that, or maybe try to bring the girl on, ask her some questions. That was really interesting. But I'm like, he's got Danielle out here literally finding women. Like Epstein with Maxwell. You know what I'm saying? Like Danielle really is the wing woman. I couldn't listen, if my husband wanted to be polygamous, ain't happening. But say I allowed it, I'm not gonna be the one like, hey Brenda, you're really pretty and you look really nice. Do you think you'd be interested in sleeping with my husband, becoming his wife? Message me back. What? No, no, ma'am. No, no. That was shocking. And that's just the one person that spoke out about it. It makes you wonder how many women has Danielle messaged asking if they're curious about joining her family. Right, Miss Bug? Is it not? Like to say, yeah, the next wife we bring in, Danielle will probably have to marry her. Danielle's like, what? What? She knew nothing about this. This was a conversation never had with her. Insanity. Insanity. This family is, and he does like Joel Osteen. Somebody said that the other day, and now I can't unsee it. Which I've always known Garrett reminded me of someone. I just couldn't figure out who that someone was. Joel Osteen. That's what he looks like. Um, Anyways, you guys, leave me your thoughts in the comment section below. That sucks. If the building, if the business is being affected strictly off like negative reviews because people don't like them from the show, that sucks. Somebody said Garrick's walking around crying, speaking Portuguese. That's so wild. On national television, you're right, he does. Anyways, you guys, leave me your thoughts in the comment section below. Make sure you follow this account for all your reality TV news and gossip tidbits. Also, really quickly, you guys, really quickly, I have to shout out once again Rose Forever. You guys know I love working for Rose Forever or collabing with them because they really have like the most beautiful arrangements I've ever seen. And they can be kind of expensive. I'm not going to lie to you, which any flower arrangement you ever buy is going to be expensive considering their flowers and in a week or two they're dead. My husband used to get me a fresh set of flowers for like every season, and I bet he spent minimum $60 minimum. And in 2 weeks, they would all be dead, right? So Rose Forever, they have they preserve their roses. They can dye them, they change the colors, they preserve their roses so they will last well over a year. You don't have to do anything to them. You don't have to water them. You have to do nothing. Just buy them, put them somewhere, and let them look pretty. That's it. That's right there. That is from Rose Forever. That is the white cardboard box, 36 count. And they have candles as well. And really quickly, I always show you guys this. This is one of their candles. It is ginormous. Look at that. Ah, it's all gone. I've had this one for what? I don't know, maybe 2 months now, you guys, but I burn it like almost every day because it smells so good. But they are having the biggest sale of the year. They are having their Black Friday sale. So they're like up to 65% off, I think they said. And then you can use my code Elle Bee for an extra $20 off. See that down there? Triple threat just posted. Over here it says code ELLE letter B 20 for another $20 off your order. So if you guys have ever wanted to give it a try, like if you've ever looked at them and been like, oh, it's a little too expensive, right now is your chance to get them at a discounted price. So that you can change it up. You can do the black velvet, you can do red velvet, you can do the translucent. Oh, that I want those too. I want to do the black box with the pink, the candles. So yeah, just go check out their site. It is linked in the top of my description box. Use code ELLE20 for $20 off your order. Janie says I've had mine for over a year and they still look great. Same. I only have one like downfall of it, and it's if you buy some that are colored that are like dyed, if it happens to like break off, moving around and a piece of the rose like breaks off, just get it and throw it away because if you leave it on your table, the dye can bleed over into your table if you leave it there for a while or if you sit something on top of it. So that's the only thing, but it doesn't do it easily. If you like rub that up against your blanket or something, it's not gonna dye's not gonna get on your blanket. It's just if it like lands on your table and it sits there for a while or something sits on top of the rose, then it can kind of bleed into it. So that's the only thing. I want the acrylic case with the drawer. I know, I think I want to try that next too, but I also want another candle. So I don't know. But anyways, you guys, Rose Forever, it is linked at the top of my description as well as the code that you can use. So go check out their site. But leave me your thoughts about Garrick, Danielle, Lorena. The whole thing is wild. There's rumors going around that Garrick has been fired. I've heard nothing to confirm that. So I think that's just rumors at the time. But if I do hear that, I'll let you guys know. But anyways, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.